Hello Bookish friends, welcome to my November wrap-up part 1. In this video I will talk about the 5 works that I finished in the first half of the month. Like I did in my previous wrap-ups, I will insert the clips that I've recorded very soon after I finish those works. Today is the 3rd of November. I finished 2 works today. The first book that I finished was The Alienist by Carr. In this book we follow John, who's a criminal journalist in 1890s New York, in the Gilded Age, when child male prostitutes who dress up as women start to get murdered in the city. He joins a special team founded by the police detective Ruiz, who later became the president of the USA, led by criminal psychologist Laszlo. As Laszlo and the team investigate these murders, which happen at significant times in the Christian religion, they find themselves more and more in mortal dangers. The reason that this book took so long to read was not because I didn't enjoy the book. I quite enjoyed especially the characters in the book. They were very three-dimensional and quite complex. And although the murders were a bit gory, the mystery, the method that the killer uses, and also profiling the killer were also done quite professionally. Though the tempo was very good, I have to admit, some of the plot details relied a bit on coincidence. That is the reason that I could not rate this book higher than 8 out of 10. Although I enjoyed reading about the crime elements of the book, I have to give a content warning about quite gory details described in the book. This is not a book for every thriller and mystery reader. The second work that I finished was a short story belonging to Love at Stake series. I'm body reading this series with Amy at Zobeck. This short story was considered as 13.5 in the series. V is for Vampwoman by Kerrelyn Sparks. In this short story, we follow Pam, who has been turned into a vampire against her wishes, and she becomes a survivor by escaping the dangerous situations. Now she wants to better herself, be useful in fighting the bad vampires, the malcontents, gives herself an alliance of Vampwoman. When she meets the Nordic Russian vampire, she also finds love. To be honest, I did not think much about that character because she seemed a bit too superficial. But in this short story, I very much enjoyed reading about her journey to finding herself as well as finding love. Male lead was only mentioned, but he seemed more realistic than many of the other male leads in this series, to be honest. So I gave V is for Vampwoman by Kerrelyn Sparks a 7 out of 10. Today is the 4th of November and I finished the book that I was reading for Emily's project, Agatha for Alice. Because I had read this month's book twice, I decided to read a book from Agatha Christie that I haven't read before, which is Towards Zero. This is also the series finisher for Inspector Battle series. In this book, a house party gathers with the suggestion of a man who tries to bring his current wife and ex-wife together to make peace with them. As well as this trio, the house party consists of the elderly widow who owns the house, her ward, her late husband's nephew, and a friend of the current wife. Atmosphere, which is very pleasant at first, gets tense and tense as time passes, and when elderly widow is murdered, Inspector Battle and his nephew, who is a police officer there, is called to investigate the murder. This book is said to be among Agatha Christie's favorite 10 novels. I can clearly see why this book is on this list. The mystery is structured very well. The surprise factor was integrated very professionally, integration of an English mansion, murder of the head of the family, and many suspects who has a motive for murder are Christie's favorite themes. Like many of the books that she wrote in the decade of 1940s, the pieces of the mystery fits like a clock. Some of the characters were quite complex and very intriguing. However, not all of them were like that. So overall, this was an 8 out of 10 Agatha Christie mystery for me. Today is the 7th of November and I finished the book that I was reading for my real life book club, which was Renkli, Çekmeceli, Şifonyer by Olivia Ruiz. Although this book has been translated to many languages, it has not been translated to English yet. In this book, we follow a single young mother whose grandmother has passed away. And after her death, she leaves her dresser to her granddaughter. When her granddaughter opens the drawers to find many trinkets that she had seen her grandmother had hidden there when she was a child, she discovers a journal which her grandmother talks about how she immigrated to France from Spain during the Civil War when she was just 10, and how her life had progressed all through the years as an immigrant in France. I have to say, I really love the cover of this book. Even though I had the opportunity to listen it as an audiobook, I decided to buy it because I really wanted this wonderful cover to be in my library. If you follow me, you probably have never heard me talk about a book cover like that. The book was also quite good and I really enjoyed learning about the family history and the social aspects of being an immigrant in France. And it was also about the bond between families, especially mothers and daughters, and how love can be found in many different forms. So this was a quite pleasant short read for me, and I gave Renkli, Çekmeceli, Şifonyer by Olivia Ruiz an 8 out of 10. Today is the 12th of November and I finished my first book that I was reading for Nonfiction November, which was Midnight at the Pera Palace, The Birth of Modern Istanbul by Charles King. In this book, King talks about rapidly changing social structure of the city of Istanbul, starting from the beginning of 20th century until the end of Second World War. And King chooses Pera Palace as a symbol of being the heart of the multicultural structure of the society, how the social structure of this multicultural society changes along with the changes that the building of Pera Palace goes through. Aside from Istanbul and Pera Palace, King also, of course, talks about the situation of the country. Starts the century as a failing empire, the loser of the First World War, and the emergence of new Turkish Republic. Also, the life stories of many significant people in Turkish history and many figures who were very important minorities during those times are told in sort of like mini biographies. I will make a dedicated Turkish shelf video about this non-fiction book. I can say that I very much enjoyed this book, considering that it was written from a foreign perspective. I found it to be quite neutral, giving the viewpoints of many of the segments in the cultural society, especially during the occupation times, during the independence war, and of course about the first years of Turkish Republic. I thought the chapters of the book gave really good introductions to significant people and also the significant events in Turkish history, and they were told in a way that would make reader interested if they want to learn more about those events and those people. Although I knew about most of the events, I also learned the life stories of many people who were significant during those times. Fun fact, there's a Turkish TV series in Netflix with the same title, with a story written by just using one page of this book. And I really love that time travel series. I was a bit afraid that I would not enjoy this book because of that. I also read this book for Read Your Shelf Challenge. The prompt was to read an intimidating book. Hopefully, because this book was so different and also written so well, I very much enjoyed this nonfiction work, and I gave Midnight at Pera Palace, The Birth of Modern Istanbul by Charles King an 8 out of 10. So those were the 5 works that I finished in the first half of the month. Please comment down below, have you read any of the books that I mentioned in this video, and what did you think of them? If you're a new viewer, first of all, welcome. Please like and subscribe. Hope to see you very soon. Bye. As for Turkish word of the day, I'm going to choose hotel. Hotel means otel in Turkish, and otel is our Turkish word of the day. Have a good day.